So let's start with the quarterbacks. That's what everyone cares about. Penn State has Ethan
Oh, yeah.
Grunkmeyer committed to the class of 2024, the lone quarterback, but it's still a quarterback. They're not going signal caller list in the class of 2024. But then the conversation opens up for 2025. Get another quarterback. Do you potentially get two? Do you try to get two? Because the idea is that Drew Aller's going to leave. Bo Prabula will take over, hypothetically. And then, yes, Jackson Smolik. And you have to hope that Ethan Grunkmeyer develops. But it's always about next man, next guy, right? The two biggest names, and I don't want to leave out Matt Zollers, who's an in-state quarterback as well. But the guys that are the highest profile players here, Malik Washington, Ryan Montgomery. Washington is out of the state of Maryland. Got to see him at the Elite 11 camp. I'm very impressed with him. So I'm eager to know your thoughts, Brian. And then Ryan Montgomery, kind of the same thing. Same quarterback coach as Drew Aller, Ethan Grunkmeyer. So the connections are already there. Ryan Montgomery's brother goes to Ohio State, but Ohio State already has its quarterback commits for the class of 2025. So Montgomery's recruitment just gets a little interesting here. But Washington, Montgomery, is there a preference here? Does Penn State try to land both? What do you have to say about Washington and Montgomery respectively?
I love Washington's film, but I've seen Montgomery live. So I'm going to start with Malik, though. Run pass kid, big frame. He's a kid that could weigh 230 by the time he's a junior in college, but he can run. I was surprised at how good he was at RPO, and he's got a natural release. He can really flip it without any effort at all and watch the ball go down the field. I was like, oh, he's got a plus arm. So I'm not saying he has Drew's arm, but it's still very, very good. And at that point, you're looking at a kid that's just in the middle of his junior year of high school and he's doing this. So you're like, okay, ceiling very high. He's got the frame to take the punishment that football brings with it. You sign up for that. And he's also a kid that'll deliver it too, because he's a big guy. If you're tackling him, you got to bring something. All the attributes you're looking for the modern game. And I think he would fit Penn State's offense well. Now, if you're talking about the other young man, Ryan Montgomery, he's more of a traditional pocket kid. I've seen him throw, very smart. Makes good snaps or a good post-snap reads. I think he's more traditional. I don't think he's necessarily as explosive per se, but it depends on what you want to do. And there's been a lot of different changes with how offenses work. If you look at like Alabama, they went to Tua. Then the next guy, they're like, he'll be a game manager for a year. The guy ended up being a first-round pick. If you're really smart and just know where to go with the football, you can end up with the Patriots like he did. I think he fits that role pretty well. He's mobile, but not to the point Malik is. So either one of them could end up at Penn State and they'd do pretty well.
So I like Malik Washington a lot. If I had to pick the two, and maybe I'm going to show a little bit of bias because I have seen, like you said, you've seen Montgomery play live. I've seen Washington throw live because he didn't play in the Elite 11 camp, but really good to see, really nice experience to go witness that Elite 11 camp and just get an idea. A lot of seniors, of course, rising seniors made it to the national one. But if I had to pick anybody out of the junior class, it was Malik Washington who said if there was one player that the scouts, if they could have selected to move on, because normally they're going to select the rising seniors. I think it's very rare that a rising junior makes it to the Elite 11 finals, right? And the seniors are typically better because they have more experience. But Malik Washington had, like you said, one of the best releases. I don't have an exact player comp for him, but I like what you said about his release because I noticed the same thing too. I'm not a quarterback guru. I'm not an expert here. I'll preface it that way. But he has the quick release. It's not this long, over-exaggerated motion that gets the football out quicker. That gives receivers a better chance, a quicker chance to get their hands on the football. And it just opens up a better variety for timing passes to work. And it makes the offense move smoothly when you have the kind of motion and release that he does. I like his confidence. I like his character. Seeing that on display, it's someone that he thinks of himself very highly, respectably, right? It's not an arrogance. It's not an ego. It's a humility, but he believes that he's the best quarterback in the class of 2025. And you want somebody with that kind of confidence, especially if they're going to lead your offense, lead your locker room.
Yeah, I think if you get kids like that, it also is the Pied Piper effect, especially if you could get somebody like Malik early. Just using him as an example because we both like him. I mean, all the little attributes you talked about with quarterbacks, that's why, like, I go to Elite 11 stuff. I wear an Elite 11 hat all the time. That stuff matters, man. If you don't get quarterback play, it just doesn't work out. You have to hit explosive plays. And I know that's a topic on all the Penn State message boards for obvious reasons, but you got to keep bringing in quarterbacks until you get it fixed too. You don't know who's going to hit. It's arguably the most difficult position to project, even when kids are good, because the real evaluation begins after they get in college and how they do on the chalkboard in the meeting room, stuff we don't see. So I'll take the guy with all the skills though. And Ryan Montgomery's got plenty of them too. Mm-hmm. Penn State's at least on the right trail, and they've done a good job of getting ahead of it. If you don't recruit some of these quarterbacks early in today's world, you're done. Penn State has done a tremendous, tremendous job.
It's going to be too early to make a prediction. But if I had to lean who Penn State is going to get, who they're going to land, Ryan Montgomery just visited Auburn. There's a lot of SEC schools that are after him. Malik Washington, in his case, has visited Penn State a lot. And I've gotten the feeling, and talking to other scouts, other coaches, other recruiting analysts like yourself, Brian, Malik Washington really likes Penn State, and Penn State really likes Malik Washington. So if I had to say, well, who is Penn State going to land at this point in time, right? Early November 2023, if Penn State had to land one of them, I would say it's Malik Washington. And this is also not to discredit Matt Zollers. Right now, according to Rivals, he's listed as a 4-star. He's rated a 5.8. He's another pro-style quarterback, 6'3". All these guys are 6'3+. So you're getting these big-bodied, athletic, smart, super, like they possess superpowers, right? They're almost, all these kids are built in a laboratory with the build, the talent, and the athleticism, because they're not statues, which is crazy enough with the size that they have. They're coming in with college type of builds already as juniors in high school. Besides the point, Penn State can't go wrong with any of these quarterbacks that they're recruiting. I would have to lean that it's probably either going to be Washington or Zollers, because he is in state. He goes to Springford High School in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, for what it's worth, right? And I think that Montgomery, being from Ohio, getting some attention from the SEC. I know there's the connection with the quarterback coach, but Washington's been up to Penn State, been up to Happy Valley for a long time. Like since his freshman year, sophomore year, like he's been all Happy Valley, Nittany Lions, blue and white for quite some time now.
Well, if he started to make trips when he was 14, 15 years old, that relationship is there. Yeah. I think we all know that Franklin's really not going anywhere as the head coach. So unless somebody just comes in and gives him an opportunity that he can't pass up, I'd say Penn State's probably the likely landing spot for Malik.
Can't go wrong with any of them. You are Penn State is a winner in recruiting, whether they land Montgomery, Washington, or Zollers. They're all 4 stars. They're all highly rated, highly touted. They're ranked top 10 at a minimum, top 5 in their respective states. So if you can get 2 of them, oh my goodness, now you're really talking. But those are the quarter. And Ethan Grunkmeyer is going to be in attendance as well. So maybe Grunkmeyer can have a little bit of a recruiting pitch. It's healthy competition, right? Do you want to recruit your competitor? But I think at the end of the day, these kids, these players understand that it's about the program. It's about what's doing best for the team. And imagine a depth chart with multiple highly touted 4 stars, some of which, who knows, maybe Malik Washington. These rankings are fluid. Maybe he could be ultimately a 5-star by the end of the day. Like I said, he has all the tools if he continues on this track.